right, I would now like to officially open select board, Sherborn Select Board meeting for November 2nd, believe it or not, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. And I would like to ask the Assistant Town Administrator to read the executive session agenda, please. You got to unmute yourself before you read it, though.
Item number 1 is to discuss strategy with respect to threatened potential litigation. If the chair so declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the select board and the town, and the chair does so declare to discuss the matter of 5 Star Building Corp. Versus the town of Sherborn, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, 3 and 7, and Suffolk Construction versus DCAM, 449 Mass, 444, 2007, the library. Item number 2 is a strategy session to prepare for contract negotiations with non-bargaining employee pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2 for the police chief. Item number 3 is pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A and 7, to comply with or act under the authority of the General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 22, to review the minutes of executive sessions in Suffolk Construction versus DCAM, 449 Mass, 444, 2007, to review minutes of executive sessions on January 13th, 2022, February 3rd, 2022, February 10th, 2022, February 12th, 2022, February 24th, 2022, March 10th, 2022, and March 24th, 2022.
That's a mouthful.
I
Okay.
was.
So I do declare it is necessary to discuss these 3 items in executive session. So I move that we enter executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and a roll call vote, Eric,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Marion,
Aye.
and I am I as well. So seeing that it's 7:15, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Sherborn Select Board on November 2nd, 2023. And we're starting our open session at 7:15 p.m. So I'd like to ask the Assistant Town Administrator to read the open session agenda, please.
Good evening. After I read the agenda, the board can vote to amend or approve the agenda as presented. Public comment, there is a public comment that Jeff Waldman will be giving on behalf of the Council on Aging. Items may be taken out of order and topics not anticipated 48 hours in advance may be added. 7:15, we have an Eversource NSTAR public poll hearing. A representative from Eversource NSTAR will be here along with Sean Colleen, the DPW director. Item number 2 is consideration of signing a conservation restriction amendment to 164 Forest Street. Item number 3 is consideration of filing the special legislation as approved at the October 17th, 2023 special town meeting, establishment of the North Sherborn Water Sewer District, and to deposit the final document with the Sherborn Town Clerk. Special Town Council will be here for that. Number 4 is consideration of filing special legislation as approved at the April 25th, 2023 annual town meeting, and act relative to the treasurer collector of the town of Sherborn. Item number 5 is the consideration of various appointments. We're looking tonight to appoint Campbell Armstrong as a representative to the Sherborn Leland Farms Board of Trustees for a term to expire on June 15th, 2026. And I'm happy to say that's a new appointment. The Elder Housing Committee, Mary Roque, for a term to expire on June 15th, 2026, and that's also a new appointment. We also have an appointment to the Sherborn Police Department. Chief Thomas Galvin will be here. For Spencer Shock, who will be a new appointment to the Police Department. Item number 6 is the introduction of the new town's website. Item number 7 is the select board reports and TA reports. Item number 8 is the consent agenda, which is the TA payroll warrant. Draft minutes of October 17th, 2023, October 19th, 2023. And our next scheduled meeting is for November 16th and a 1-day liquor license.
Excellent. Thank you, Diane. Do I have any suggested revisions to the agenda? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as read?
So moved.
Second? You're muted, Marion. I'll take that as a second. You're muted, though. There
Second.
you go. Eric?
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Marion,
Aye.
and I as well. And just so people know, Paul Lorenzus was unavailable this evening, so we have four quorum of 4 select board members tonight. And I'm going to start, as Diane indicated, with a brief public service announcement. The Council on Aging is just launched what they're calling the Sit and Sip Cafe. So they're basically going to have a coffee hour for 3 hours every Tuesday and Wednesday of every week, beginning this Tuesday, November 7th. So it's going to be held at the Sherborn Community Center. So hopefully it will be successful and grow. And I think a lot of people were frustrated. I know Dunkin' Donuts is supposed to open soon in town, but that's been slow in coming. And I think they want to have a place where they can gather. So conversation will be had, and coffee and pastries will be provided. So hopefully that will be a success. And I think it's based on input, that they've received. So thank you to Sue Kelleher and Christina Gallant for helping assemble that. So we'll now launch the public hearing. Do I need to read the poll announcement, Diane, for the hearing?
Yes, you should read the public
So
announcement.
I'll read the notice of public hearing. So we'll start the public hearing on the NSTAR Eversource public poll hearing. The select board will hold a virtual public hearing on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023 at 7:15 p.m. regarding a petition by NSTAR Electric doing business as Eversource Energy to erect or construct and a location for such a line of wires, poles, and other fixtures, including anchors and guys, as may be necessary to sustain or protect the wires of the line. The said poles to be located substantially as shown as on the plans made by K. Rice, dated October 12, 2023, and filed herewith, upon, along, and across the following public way or ways of said town: South Street, northwesterly side, approximately 2,900 feet northeast of Farm Road. Install one stub pole, number 327S, and install one anchor at pole 327S. Oral and written comments are invited. So I don't know who's going to kick us off. Sean, are you going to kick us off? I'm not sure who the representative from Eversource is.
Hi, yes, this is Christine Cosby from Eversource Energy.
Oh, great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, we're requesting permission for grant location for a new stub pole out at South Street in Sherborn. And the purpose of the stub pole is to provide support to the existing pole 3/27, which is across the street. That pole 3/27 had a tree guy in it. It was a guy wire that was attached to a tree, and the tree's dead. And the guy wire came down, and the pole does need support out there. So that would be the reason for us to install the new stub pole.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Sean, do you want to add anything? Not necessary?
Other than it was there actually when a different tree came down and noticed that guy wire was hanging onto a dead rotted tree that was hanging by another dead rotted tree. So this was actually my request on the scene. I've never seen one pull through so quick, but
That's excellent. Well, they're out there doing work, so they don't want to do it in the winter. So I think they're smart. All right. So any select board comment or questions? Hearing none, any public comment or questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the pole location as shown in our packet on the drawing and is described in what I read?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, Eric,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Marion,
Aye.
and I as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Have a good
Yep.
evening.
And thanks for your work. Item number 2 is a conservation restriction for 164 Forest Street. I'm not sure if you're going to lead that, Jeremy, or
Actually, Tom Honeywell is here on
Yeah,
behalf of the
I saw him
requester.
earlier. Let me see if he's.
He's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Are you
I'm here.
There you are.
And I thank you very much. I should also introduce Lee Campbell, who's with us as well, who is one of the property owners at
Great.
164 Forest Street.
Now, do you need us to share? I mean, we got all the materials in the packet, including the drawing showing the 5 locations. Do you want to share your screen, or what do you recommend?
I don't have that capability on my end, but if someone on the select board's end does, that might be helpful to illustrate what we're talking about. It's fairly straightforward,
Yeah.
but that might make it even more illustrative.
Jeff,
Do
you
have
can make
that,
it a
Jeremy?
co-host, and therefore you don't compromise the security by just letting down anyone do it. If you make him a co-host, he can share a screen. You know what I mean?
He says he doesn't
No,
have it.
I'm not able to do that on my end, even with whatever permission you might grant. So I think it'd be
No, we're
easier to
okay.
do
I
it.
think, Jeremy, can you pull that up? Are you all
There
right?
you go.
Good job. Thank you. I knew you were doing it.
So there's a sketch that will be much more helpful than this document here.
Yeah, there's a sketch. There's an early sketch, but it's very small. I think there's a subsequent sketch, and in the way we receive the packet, that's much larger scale.
Yeah, the much larger one will be more helpful.
Yep.
Yeah,
That one
it's
right
the
there.
larger,
That's the
it's
one-
the larger
yeah,
one of that. Yeah, exactly.
That's the one I was thinking of. So do you want to walk us through it then, Tom?
Sure. So yeah,
Nice job.
that's perfect. So this shows Forest Street going from the lower left to the upper right direction, and there are oh, this is even better. That's great. So there are 4 building envelopes. There's if I sort of refer to the
Yeah, I'm
the-
having trouble, but if I use my mouse here, might help you. Or you want to use yours, Jeremy?
There we go.
That's fine. So now Forest Street is on the borders the top exactly, and then there are 4 building envelopes, and going from the lower left to the upper right direction. There's number
Yep.
1, and then number 2 is right there exactly, and then number 3 is right there, perfect, and then number 4 exactly, perfect. Those are building envelopes that were reserved or excluded from the original conservation restriction, which was also subject to some subsequent amendments. But as things stand today on this property, those 4 building envelopes are freely developable, and a single family home could be constructed in each. A&R plans would be obtainable as a matter of right. And there could be 4 single-family homes along this stretch of Forest Street. And the proposed amendment is fairly straightforward. It is simply to eliminate all 4. And the trustees of reservations hold the conservation restriction, and are, of course, in favor of the elimination of these 4 building envelopes. We appeared before the Sherborn Conservation Commission about 10 days ago to present this to them, which is customary, and essentially described exactly what I'm describing to this board right now, and requested that the Conservation Commission have an opportunity to consider this and to ask any questions that they may have, which they did. And then we requested that the Conservation Commission vote to recommend that the Board of Selectmen actually sign this. The parties to the amendment are the trustees of reservations and the property owner, and the town of Sherborn acting through its Board of Selectmen. And finally, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts also is a party through and it's specifically, it's the Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs. And so we are at the top of the 9th inning here in this process. And at this juncture, what we are requesting is that the Board of Selectmen agree to sign the amendment itself.
Excellent. Thanks for the summary, Tom. So you could probably unshare now, Jeremy, and then we can see people better. Do any of the select board members have questions or items they want to discuss?
Does it affect the existing buildings on the property? Isn't a couple
No.
existing buildings? Okay.
No, it doesn't affect any of the existing buildings. It simply prohibits the construction of single-family homes within those four reserve building envelopes by eliminating them.
Okay, so like if someone put an addition on a building or something like that, it wouldn't affect that building.
No, there are other limitations within the portion of the property where the main residence exists, and it is within its own excluded area. No additional structures could be constructed there, but a modification of that existing building, subject to, of course, building codes and zoning limitations, would of course apply. But all we're talking about is those 4 additional lots that could be developed that now or after this is fully executed and recorded, those development rights will be extinguished forever.
So
Excellent,
otherwise,
that's great.
everything else, so it doesn't increase like access to the public or anything like that. It basically just affects
No.
strictly the building. It doesn't say like, general access, conservation trail, any of that stuff.
No, we
is
didn't. No,
unchanged.
yeah, all of those are unaffected by this. All those categories of rights are unaffected by this. It's simply the elimination of those development rights.
And this is contiguous with other trustees' property, I believe.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So between the property and the Charles River, at this point, I might invite Lee Campbell if he wants to chime in, who of course knows the area quite well, having lived there, or had his parents having lived there. But yes, between the property on the Charles River side, I believe the trustees reservation actually is the fee owner of property there, and the public is invited to walk along the river there.
Well, this is adjacent to Rocky Narrows, the Rocky Narrows Reservation.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's adjacent to the town forest. So as you could see from the sketch map too, 2 of the envelopes are actually on existing trustees' properties. So the trustees would probably not develop those, but they use this opportunity to sort of remove that. I mean, the conservation restriction goes back to the 1980s, which was my grandmother who originally put that on. And so the existing things are, this is right adjacent to the Rocky Narrows Reservation, essentially. And it prevents a house basically on the border of a walking trail, which is currently in that reservation, and things like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the property itself, and it's definitely beautiful out there. So I was curious about this kind of contiguous nature. No, I mean, I support this as a no-brainer.
Yep, Marion?
Absolutely. I agree. It's a no-brainer, and the use of even the 2 building envelopes that are on private land, not trustees' land, would have a big impact on that beautiful land along the Charles. So I think we have to thank Mr. Campbell for agreeing to do this. It's really a great plus for the town.
Thank you both, Tom and Lee. So if any further questions or any public comment?
Could I ask one more thing?
Sure.
This conservation restriction is in perpetuity, right? It's
Yes.
not one of those 30-year extinguishing restrictions.
You're exactly right. This is not a private land use limitation that is subject to a 30-year rule. Suffice to, it kind of speaks for itself that this is an amendment to an existing conservation restriction, which is somewhat inconsistent with the perpetual nature, but amendments are only permitted when the conservation values to be protected are actually enhanced. So you cannot amend a conservation restriction without an act of the state legislature that does not enhance the conservation interest to be protected. So because the development rights, substantial development rights for building envelopes are being eliminated, it's going in the only direction that an amendment can, without the act of the state legislature, can accomplish. But yes, once eliminated, it's forever.
Great.
Excellent. And seeing no public comment, do I have a motion to accept this conservation restriction amendment for 164 Forest and we'll sign it tomorrow morning?
So moved.
All right. Eric,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Marion,
Aye.
and I as well. So Tom and Lee, thank you very much for your generosity and for supporting the town and for explaining it to us.
Well, all thanks goes to Mr. Campbell and his family. I simply helped with landing gear. That's all. But and what I'll do is I'll be in touch with the clerk's office tomorrow just to coordinate swinging by and collecting the signed amendment.
I'm not sure, I think we all need to sign it, so.
That's right. And so
yeah.
we're not in an enormous hurry.
Yeah.
So, but what I can do is I can reach out to the select board's office tomorrow,
Yeah.
just to schedule a time in the next couple of weeks when we can come by and pick up the signed document.
Right, so I can do it tomorrow. How about the other three of you? Are you able to go in
I can sign on Monday.
Monday? And Marion
If they're ready tomorrow, I can do tomorrow.
and Eric?
I think I can do tomorrow. I might
Yeah.
struggle with the hours. The city, what time's town hall closed? Like 12:30?
Typically noon.
Because I have a
think
meeting.
so, yeah.
Leave it out. I can just let myself in. I just simply have a meeting that goes to about
I-
12.
Yeah, I think this one actually might have to be witnessed by Jackie.
It needs to be notarized. That's right.
Notary has to witness it.
But
yeah.
we do, I mean, to be perfectly frank, if either Mr. Campbell or I could come by a week from tomorrow, and then that's perfectly, that doesn't slow us up.
No, I'm not worried about that. We'll forget if we wait till a week tomorrow. So we're good. Thank you for the explanation, and we'll get it signed. And Diane will keep us honest here, so we'll get it signed with the town clerk, who's a notary.
Thank you all
very
much.
Thank you very much again.
Appreciate it.
All right.
The grant of location from Eversource will need your signature as well, so we'll
Yeah,
have that
that's what I
for you
thought.
as well.
So I'm gonna put Eric in the waiting room.
Thank you, Jeff.
There you go, my friend. I'll text you. And then we're now going to start item 3, which is consideration of the filing now of the special legislation for the North Sherborn Water and Sewer District that was approved at October 17th special town meeting. And Tom drafted it's going to be transmitted to James Arena DeRosa, and Tom drafted a terrific letter. So do the select board have any comments or questions about this item? Tom's here, by the way. Thanks for joining us, Tom. You even put a tie on tonight. I'm impressed.
Happy to be here.
Any input? I don't hear any. Any select board input? None. Any public comment? Excellent. Well, this was approved at town meeting, so I think it's a great opportunity, and it'll now move through the legislative process. So do I have a motion to approve the filing legislation, including the transmittal letter to the state rep?
I get this one.
Yes, you do.
I move to submit.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
That's you, Stephen. All right. All in favor, Stephen?
Aye.
Marion?
Aye.
And I as well. So it's 3-0, Diane, two absent. So let me just text Eric, or actually I could just admit him probably. All right. So you're back now, Eric. We're
Wow.
done.
You feels like an hour. Usually I'm half done with Jeopardy, but you're done with it.
I figured the cat didn't get fed on this break. So we have actually another special legislation. This one, though, that you can participate, which is the act from the Springtown meeting on April 25th, 2023, which is the relative to the treasurer collector of the town of Sherborn. Combination of those positions. Do you want to summarize anything, Jeremy, or?
Yeah, actually not looking for any action on the board tonight. However, wanted to introduce a draft of this special legislation for the board, and also discuss how this actually will link in, or does link in to a decision the board will need to make soon as far as an interim treasurer. With Heidi Doyle accepting the position of town planner, and that transition will be looking and needing to fill in an interim way the treasurer position. And so we've been, working with that in mind. And currently the draft legislation is drafted. It was drafted by town council. It's drafted to accommodate what we would propose and bring back to you at your next meeting, November 16th, for some appointments to accommodate that transition of Heidi going to the town planner's office, and the need to fill a treasurer and collector in the interim while the special legislation goes through the State House. And actually, it's been a great idea. It was proposed by Pam and Heidi, and we vetted it with town council. The idea would be that Pam would resign as the elected collector. Heidi would resign, as she was planning to anyway, for the town planner. Then the Board of Selectmen, in their authority, could then appoint another town treasurer. In this case, we propose Pam. And so Pam would, with your approval, would become the treasurer for a term that you desire. And then by matter of process, our current assistant collector, Tish, would become the acting collector. So that would give, you'd be fully functioning by way of having the appropriate officials in place. It ties in actually nicely with the intent of the special legislation to combine those two positions and have one office for all those roles. And actually kind of helps us get sort of do some budget planning for FY25, and also start that transition now, training folks. So wanted to kind of introduce that to you and see if you had any any questions or any concerns with that approach. It seems to make the most sense, but just wanted to run that by you before bringing that forward at your next meeting.
Yeah, and I think just to elaborate a little bit, which we discussed today, Jeremy, is that the reason for doing this is that Heidi really, by taking this other role, won't be able to perform the functions. She's now our town planner. She'll still have some hours with the treasury function, but we need someone that has the independence and can sign things and that kind of thing. So that's the purpose for doing this. And so we needed a mechanism until this legislation is passed, and then we can go back to the full plan. So is there any select board questions or concerns?
What are the respective hours of these three positions at this point, just to review?
The hours, budgeted hours for salary purposes, Marion? Yeah. The treasurer and the collector both are budgeted 30 hours per week. The assistant collector, I believe, is 33 hours per week. I might be off an hour or two. And the assistant collector is at 10 hours per week.
And the town planner?
The town planner is 22 hours per week.
Mm-hmm.
So Heidi will still be doing probably 8 hours or whatever it is a week of treasury advisory work, just not being treasurer.
Correct. Yeah, Heidi, wants to help and will help on that transition and training other folks, and will continue on. And if with your concurrence, we'd make these appointments effective November 20th, which is after the near-term borrowing that the board is considering, so that Heidi would carry through with that borrowing, and then it would be a smoother transition after that for her to step aside, but still be there to help, but not be in name the treasurer.
And so we'll approve the borrowing and the final details of this at the 16th select board meeting. Sound good to everybody?
Sounds good. Assuming that all of those players are happy with that arrangement.
They actually proposed it.
Okay, that's even better.
So that makes it work well. So Jeremy, I'm sure, led the way, and we had some other ways that we could have accomplished it, but this was what they proposed, and it makes sense.
Okay.
So do I have a motion to actually, we don't need to vote, do we, Jeremy? You're not ready to vote yet, so we just.
No, just wanted to
Yeah.
bring this forward to see if
Yeah,
there was any questions or concerns.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the approach seems straightforward, but really doesn't seem straightforward, but I like the approach.
Yeah.
It sounds more confusing than it.
That's exactly what I said about 10 o'clock this morning, Eric.
But it has been vetted, and Heather White of Attorney's Office agrees that this is a good approach.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Great.
Well, thank you for bringing it forward. The next item is consideration of various appointments. Do you want to introduce that, Diane?
Oh, yes. About a month or so ago, I received a call from Mary Roke, who was interested in learning more about the Elder Housing Committee. So at that point, I introduced her to Kitty Sturgis, and from there, she attended some meetings and got to meet Alicia Goody, who's now the chair of the committee, and attended some meetings. And at the last meeting, the Elderly Housing Committee voted to recommend to the select board that they consider appointing Mary Roke to the Elder Housing Committee. I know that I told her that we were going to be doing that tonight, but I don't know whether she's here or not.
I don't
But
see
I
her, but
know-
Alicia's here. Did you want to say anything,
Kitty
Alicia?
is here and Alicia is here, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to congratulate you and thank you for taking over as chair also, Alicia.
Oh, Kitty has huge shoes to fill,
Yes, I know that.
but thank you. And she has stepped in to be the treasurer after the, unfortunate loss of Mike. But
Yes.
Mary, I think will be a huge asset to the committee and the town. She's relatively recently moved in, I believe, and she's an attorney, and her area of practice was estates and trusts, and she's kind of stepped back from that, but she does still have some clients whose trusts and estates she manages. She's also very interested in development of affordable housing for seniors, and that's what attracted her to the Elder Housing Committee. And she's also, I understand, given some free time and is willing to spend a couple hours a week at COA counseling people who have some questions about trust and estates. So I think she'll be I'll let Kitty speak as well, but I think she'll be a valuable asset to the committee.
Yeah, we got her bio. It was a terrific bio. I was very impressed. I actually don't see Kitty right now. Oh, there
I'm
she
right
is.
here.
There you are. I see you. I see you. You're hiding.
I don't think there's anything I need to expand upon what Alicia just gave. And
right.
we're looking forward to be working with Mary.
Excellent. Thank you, Kitty. So, Diane, should we vote on these individually, or should we just introduce all and then vote one time?
It would be nice if you could vote on them individually.
Okay, so what do I have a motion to accept Mary Roke for a term to expire June 15th, 2026 for elder housing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Eric,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Marion,
Aye.
and I am I as well. So please convey our thanks to her.
And thank you as well.
I think now we slipped over, Diana. Are we doing the Leland Farms Campbell Armstrong?
Yes.
You missed that one, or you changed the order on me.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, about a month or so ago, I received a call from a gentleman by the name of Campbell Armstrong that was kind of new to town and expressed an interest in volunteering. And so we talked again, and then we emailed each other back, and I talked to him about the Leland Farms Board of Trustees, how we've been looking for somebody for quite some time to sit there as a representative for the select board. And so I believe that I got him in touch with one of the other trustee members, and they talked, and then Campbell got back to me and said that he'd like to, if the select board would consider appointing him to sit on that seat.
That's excellent. We've been hoping to fill that position for a while, so I'm
For a
very
long
glad
time.
that he's doing that.
I see that he's here.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna just gonna see if he wanted to, he has a terrific
Sure.
background also. Campbell, do you wanna introduce yourself? I want you to tell you also that I was a lacrosse player in college also, but you can go ahead and
Is that right?
introduce yourself. Yeah, I played for
Yeah.
Brown.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you for welcoming me to the call. My name is Campbell Armstrong. I'm fairly new to the town. That we moved in August. I've been living in South Natick for about 7 years, and but my kids, in fact, went to school at ECDC here in town. So we got to love the town and know a lot of folks that live here. So we were excited to finally move here, and you know, I thought this could be a good opportunity to get involved and share a different perspective with all of you. So I called Diana, like she spoke about, and you know, she presented this opportunity, and I said, hey, why not? Let's see what I can give to the town. So, but yes, I was a lacrosse player in college, and originally from the Philadelphia area.
Yep. Excellent. Well, thank you for volunteering. It's a great, you know, it's a good resource the town has for affordable housing. Very supportive. So is there any select board comment or questions?
Oh, just thanks for volunteering. That's awesome. It's good to have you.
Absolutely. Any public comment? I don't see any hands up. So do I have a motion to approve Campbell Armstrong for a 3-year term expiring June 15, 2026 to Leland Farms Board of Trustees?
So
So
moved.
moved.
All
Second.
right. All right. Eric,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
Marion,
I,
and I as well. Thanks again, Campbell. Thanks, Diane. And we have one more. Spencer turned his screen on. We got out of order there, Spencer. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
So now,
we have,
now
That's
you
all
read
right.
we have
that one.
Chief Thompson, Chief Galvin here. Oh my
Ooh.
goodness, sorry.
Yeah,
Chief
yeah,
Galvin
yeah.
here to introduce Spencer Schock as a police officer on the Sherborn Police Department.
Well, thank you. So we have a vacancy to fill that was actually created in earlier this year when Officer Matthew Smith resigned to take a position with the Natick Police Department. So we conducted some interviews and did a background investigation, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Spencer Schock. Spencer grew up in Wayland, obviously a place I'm very familiar with. He graduated from Wayland High School in 2019. After high school, he attended Johnson & Wales University, graduating last May with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Spencer is currently enrolled actually in a unique program at Merrimack College. So Merrimack has a 1 year, during one academic year, it's you attend a full-time police academy and you receive your master's degree. So currently Spencer attends the police academy during the day and then completes his master's program at night and online. And Merrimack differs in many ways than our traditional police academies. The traditional police academy is about an 800-hour course of study. The Merrimack program actually encourages about 1,200 hours. So we're benefiting of Spencer being and getting that additional 400 hours of education. So some of those courses that are traditionally done in the police academy that may only be 8 hours or 16 hours, the police academy at Merrimack gets to greatly expand on. So we're going to benefit from that additional training. Just a side note, kind of on how I met Spencer. I was really impressed. I didn't get an email or a phone call or anything. Spencer showed up at the police station one day, and I actually wasn't there. But he hit it off and had a little bit of a conversation with Officer Laquadera, enough that it even impressed Officer Laquadera. Officer Laquadera, gave me his information. We talked on the phone. We kind of instantly connected. I was able to tell Spencer that I grew up in Wayland and worked in Wayland for quite some time. And he came in, we were able to talk more. And what really impressed me is that it was his willingness to engage. And I was really able to see his interpersonal skills and his willingness to engage people in a face-to-face dialogue. One thing that was really important in policing today. So I'm excited that Spencer's here. And it's my pleasure to introduce Spencer to you and ask that he appointed as a full-time police officer.
Excellent. Thank
Now
you,
we've got-
Tom. Spencer, do you want to just introduce yourself also? Do you want to say anything? You don't have to if you don't
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable.
No, thank you for having me here. That was a very nice introduction by Chief Galvin. I'm really grateful for that. Obviously, when I started high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but towards the end of it, I knew that I loved talking to people and helping people. So I knew that policing would be the career for me. And ever since I started at Johnson & Wales, I just haven't stopped fighting for that goal to get here. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to be here talking to all of you. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Excellent. We're happy to have you. And I went to Brown's, so Johnson Wales produced very good restaurant people also.
Yeah, Providence is
We liked it for that reason. So do I have a motion to approve Spencer Schock as a new appointment to the police department?
So moved.
All right. Eric?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
Marion?
Aye.
And I am I as well. Thanks
I have
for
a question-
joining us, Spencer.
Question for the chief.
Yeah.
Now that we've got a remote call center, we're going to eliminate the walk-in recruitment.
Yeah, we still get
You know,
walk-ins and we're still there, so we get to see people.
Aye.
Excellent.
That's it.
Well, thanks. We're glad to have you and good luck finishing the program. That's terrific.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you all around.
All right.
Thank you.
So we'll now move on to the introduction of the website, which I navigated. Are you gonna, Jeannie, is she here somewhere? Where are you, Jeannie? Jeremy, you're gonna go through it with us? It's really cool. I mean, it's come quite a long way from the first draft we reviewed.
Yeah, so Jeannie was to be doing this. We were supposed to be doing this together, but unfortunately, about 10 minutes ago, she lost power at her house. So I'm on my own here. But we thought with the launch of the new website that was on Monday, we thought we could give you just sort of a brief overview of the main page and some of the main features of the website. The update was actually a grant funded by the Community Compact Grant, an IT Best Practices grant from the Commonwealth. The grant covered the update and its implementation and an annual subscription for the year. Lots of hard work by Jeannie, who is really the town's webmaster. Jackie, our town clerk, Klaus, happened to launch and all that good stuff on the IT side, and many other folks as well. Some of the main components in the update, kind of behind the scenes that you don't see, but are functional to it, are that this new website is compliant with the Americans with Disability Act. Apparently there is guidance on public websites, and this website, our old website was not. This is, so that folks with disabilities can navigate the website easily and find all the information that everybody else can find. This website's mobile and tablet friendly. There was a fair amount of added functionality. There was some improved meeting agenda tracking. There's a whole agenda center that actually helps date stamp when agendas are posted and when addendums are posted as well. And I'll show you that in a sec. There's some more alerts and notification functionality. There's a staff directory. There's a business directory. There's more facilities information. There's an ability to do opinion polls. So there's a lot of stuff that we're learning and we're coming up to speed with, but it's got a whole host of other things as well that we'll slowly get our training and feet wet on. Much of the information from the old website was ported over to the new website, but we also added some new content before the launch, and are asking folks to review pages and let us know. It's not perfect. We found a couple errors. A funny one from ZBA chair Rick Novak, that somehow it had us. Our ZBA page was linked to some town in New York, Poughkeepsie, New York, somehow. But anyway, that's been corrected. So there's been a couple funny flaws that way. But let me just do a quick screen of the main page here and some of the highlights on the new functionality. And so here's the main page up on the screen. Right now, there's a community alert, just because we're welcoming folks to the new website. That can be, more of an emergency alert or something we want to tag and, really have up front, if there was a power outage or something. all of these alerts, the news items, the agendas, they're all tied to folks that may have put in their email addresses to get notified. All of the folks that were in the old website have been ported over, but there's additional functionality. So we urge folks to actually come into the new website and create an account, put in their new information, and there's more features to select from. You can tailor your experience. But we did port over all the old subscribers. So when we do send out or post an agenda, it's going to folks that need to. The whole neighborhood is out of electricity. That's Jeannie texting again.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sean's in the same neck of the woods there, I think.
Let's see. Oh, that. So, that community alert will come down shortly. And it can be replaced with other things if we'd like. Coming down a little bit on the page, town seal, that's sort of the home page button. You press that on a page, it comes back to the home page. Then you have your typical drop downs here, and we divided them out by government, which has a direct link to agendas and meeting minutes. It has a link to all of the boards and committees and their web pages. It has a new page that we've created, town meeting, which we hope to kind of build out with town meeting information. As we get closer to town meeting, we'd post information here for voters. We had a right up front, we put a link to the town's org chart that you've seen previously.
That's awesome.
And then currently there's a link here directly to the town's bylaws. This is right now a static version of the bylaws that, as approved at prior town meetings. But once the E-code that Jackie's going through, that E-code program she's doing, once that's finalized, we'll have a direct link here to go to the E-code webpage with all the town bylaws and information. So that's where that'll be linked. Then departments, similar departments as previous, but we did add some pages here, some quicker links, and created a page with town budget and finances, and it included some recent budget information and budget policies, advisory committee reports, budget development calendars, and the like. So we made that front and center. There's a page now for the town administrator's office. There's a direct link here. One of the modules that's added was a bidding module for public bidding and procurement. So there's a link there, the human resources. Going on community. One of the things that was added in this version, and we'll reach out to businesses if they want to be included. There's a business directory here in the website that we'll reach out to businesses and see if they would like to be added. And then there's a how do I. Moving down a little bit more, refresh. Off to the right, there are links to social media, and we've created accounts for the town. So the town now does have a Facebook page, a Twitter or X account, an Instagram account. This is a direct link to the YouTube channel for Dover Sherborn cable TV. So it'll take you directly there. Is Nextdoor and LinkedIn. So those are all quick links to the town's social pages. A little farther down are some graphic buttons that are quick links to the online bill pay. Here's the sort of the updated version of the notifications, and I urge everybody to go in and to here and kind of update their settings. If you click on that notify me, you can kind of create essentially your own profile and then choose what agendas that you may want to see either by email or text, what bid postings or alerts or calendar updates or job postings, news flashes that you'd like. You can kind of tailor your experience. So like I said, all the old emails were ported over. We did not previously have capability to text folks, but now we do, but it's opt-in. You don't have to do that, but you can if you'd like. But that, again, it's accessible right from the main page. It's refreshing. Under subscribe to notifications, agendas and minutes, there's an agenda module that has a direct link here. A link to that town meeting page I showed you, a quick link to the job opportunities module, which we have up here. which we'll begin using, and folks can subscribe to. So we're hoping we'll get more folks that will be alerted to any vacancies that we may have.
That thing you mentioned earlier, the YouTube, is that the recordings are available on that link then also? The meetings have been
Correct.
recorded?
Yeah,
Excellent.
so you could go directly there to the YouTube videos of the recordings that Dover Sherborn TV puts up.
Yep, that's excellent.
A quick link here to the town's mapping. And a little farther down, there's some more quick link buttons to the public safety departments, to the bidding opportunities that I mentioned, to a staff directory. This is an added feature here as well. We go to the staff directory. It lists all the departments and all of their members. So, you know, if we drill into one of the departments, say the police department, you can see the folks that work there and their positions and contact information, hours of operation. And then this same information is available on the department's pages themselves off to the right. So it's similar information. You can search it if you need to. So hopefully it'll help folks find you know, what the staff that they may be needing for assistance easier.
Where's the land use and the 40B projects and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so that is
land
here,
development.
quick link.
What are
to
we
land
under?
development
That's under,
projects.
what's that under common services?
Yep. So that same page, that land, I'll go there, that had, you know, the active land development projects and all the
Yeah.
various documents that have been submitted, has been recreated here.
What are you under? It said common, but what are the major four categories? Are you under community or department now?
This is just scrolling down the main page.
Oh,
So
okay.
On
All
the
right.
main page, just scrolling down.
Yeah, I
you know,
got you.
Under common services, land
Yep.
development projects.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. A couple others, document search module. This is a quick link to some planning documents like the master plan and zoning. Then a little farther down on the main page, there are two calendars. There's a calendar that's going to be showing all of the upcoming meetings. And then there's a calendar that will be used to show various public events. And I'll give you an example. So this actually links to, and there's another way to view the calendar as well. This is sort of a graphical look at the calendar on the main page of the website. But if I go into your meeting tonight, so November 2nd, Select Board.
Yeah, it worked well. I actually used this to get the Zoom link.
Yeah. So in here, you know, we've got a link to the public packet with all the background information for your meeting tonight.
It's
well,
great.
It's a big file. Maybe I shouldn't have loaded it, but it's got, you know, all the public packet in the background, not just the agenda.
Right, that's good.
And
Jeremy, I do notice, you know, we use the calendar a lot, looking over who's meeting when and when.
Yeah, and I want to show you, this is one thing
agenda.
folks have asked about, and I want to show you another view of the calendar that I think folks will find useful. But just on this, and I'll show that in a second.
Could I make a comment though?
Yep.
The download agenda link is sort of clunky. I mean, it takes 2 or 3 steps to actually get the agenda.
Yep.
In front of your face.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Depending on how you go about it. So let me go back to that meeting again. So that your select board meeting here.
Yeah.
You know, the public packet, and then you can view agenda off to the right here, which is the quickest way to get your agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I did. It works pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then if you scroll,
then there's another
scroll
way.
down, the Zoom link is that if you scroll down, it's shown in the agenda.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, that is the quickest way to get in, and then you can actually click the Zoom link to get into the meeting.
Yeah.
And then the agenda is tracked in this agenda center. So that's where I think it's going to be helpful for the clerk's office, because it puts a date stamp on when these things were posted. And let me show you that. So if we go to the agenda center, which, you know, shows your meeting tonight, it shows the latest agenda was posted on October 31st at 9 in the morning. And over to the right, you can see previous versions of the agenda, like the original one and then the one that's current. If you go to the previous version, it'll show you when that previous version was originally posted. So it'll help with some of the questions that folks have. Oh, that wasn't posted in time or whatnot. There's a
Yep.
date stamp right here. And you can
Right, but
see previous agendas.
there's no view agenda option here. You have to download.
Yep, over to
Yeah.
the right, hit it.
It's
Yeah.
pretty, it comes up pretty quickly though.
And you can view it that way. That's true.
Yeah.
I have a question, Jeremy.
Yep.
There are other organizations around town that aren't like, elected official, like Sherborn Forest and Trail, or the Friends of the Library, or that sort of thing. Is there any place on the website for those organizations? Just
Certainly, yeah, we'd definitely welcome that. It could be under boards and committees like that page, or it could be under the community tab, where the different community organizations that are sort of affiliated with the town could have pages here. We're happy to help with that.
Yeah, that might be a good place for it.
Yeah,
I think I agree. That's a good comment though, Mary. I mean, even I could
So-
send info on the Boy Scout troop or something.
Yeah, the Farm Pond Advisory, there are actually
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Yep, terrific.
Yeah, and the calendar. So this has been a question. Folks have liked, that sort of monthly look at the calendar that was on the older website. You can still do that. So you just below the visual calendar, if you hit here, view all events, it goes to the calendar module, which will give you a monthly view of all the meetings, and you can choose a weekly view if you'd like. And so it'll zoom in on a week. What happened? Let me do that again. View all events. I think I hit the home button by accident. Do a week by view by week, and you'll see the week of October 31st, and you can see all the meetings on a particular night and the time that they are. So, I know folks are interested to see what's going on in a particular week and what they might be able to get to. But so this is the best way to do that. So on the main page, hit view all events, go to the calendar, and either choose to view by month or by week. Here's the monthly view.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. You do by month, and then you see this. Oh,
So
yeah.
you see this by month, and you see all the meetings on a particular day. If you click on it, you get more information.
Yeah.
Or if you'd like to see a view by week, it'll also give you that option as well. And then you can click for more information. So you can kind of plan your meetings for the week.
And you can also you can subscribe to the calendar on your computer, your phone, or whatever. You see on the right there's a subscribe to iCalendar link. So if you go there, you can, whatever computer or phone you use, you can basically, I just did it now. If you right click on that meetings link, if you right click on that, and then you can like copy the link, and then you basically you go into your calendar app wherever, and you just say subscribe to a new calendar, just pop in that address and it'll subscribe you. So I do that on my computer and my phone. And for some random reason, maybe 2 years ago, like this was on the old website also, but maybe like 2 years ago, for some reason, it just stopped working on my phone. It was just like, it just failed. But I've now, with the new website, I literally just now, as Jeremy was showing us, I went and resubscribed on both my phone and my computer, and can confirm that it works on at least on an iPhone and on a Mac.
Sweet.
Yeah. So go back to the main page. Almost done here. Down below the calendar are some news postings. So this were sort of news, not like immediate alerts, but news items that we want to post are and can be found. And there's more to be seen as you scroll through here. This is another thing you can sign up for to get alerts when these news items are posted. Here's the information about the town hall campus drinking water. You click on that, it'll go into to give you the full amount of information on it.
That's cool.
This has come a long way from the first draft. This is really cool.
I think here, let's see the one last thing. So down at the very bottom here is actually a little widget that's showing our Facebook page, and it'll show the most recent posting put up on Facebook. So it kind of gives you a visual there. So I think that's really the highlights. I don't know if Jeannie has been able to get on or not. But over the past few weeks, we've been able to do a lot of training. So most of all the users that have had managed the old web pages have been trained by Civic Plus on how to do edits to their web page. They've been created as account users and have the appropriate permissions. So if you're a department head or there's volunteers that are also have access to update their pages, they've been trained. We're still learning the website and its features. It's not perfect, but I think we're pretty happy with it overall. And definitely encourage everybody to take a look, browse it, and certainly reach out to Jeannie or I. Both, so Jeannie, myself, and Jackie are all three power users. So we sort of the backbone of the administrative help. But there's many other folks that are coming up to speed on it as well. So
that's great, Jeremy. Could I ask one more question?
Sure.
In some town websites, and I don't know if our previous website was like this. When you put in a search term, it gives you basically a Google search, which is really where you really want a cross-reference search within the website of what you're looking for. So yeah, let's see how that works.
So it's coming up with your page, right, as one of the first items.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
So I think it does do a search of the website first.
Yeah, good. That's
Klaus has also helped. One of the things that Civic Plus recommended is after the launch to have Google, the company Google, do a crawl through the new website so that it comes up on the search in Google better. So that's been Klaus helped with that, and so the world can find us
even if we don't want them to. That's great.
So that's it.
Thank you. That's great.
Pretty cool. All right. And on that note, we're already up to select board reports. Can you believe that? It's 8:15. So do any of the select board members have reports? Okay, so I think you got this email. One thing I was going to put on select board reports is as called for in his contract, we're doing a 360 review of Jeremy. And we've got Jen Thompson's firm and another woman, Blythe. I forget her last name. Campbell, is it? Blythe? I forget her last name. Blythe is another. Robinson, yeah. So if you haven't already talked to them, they'll be reaching out to all the select board members, the major department heads, major boards and committee people, and performing a 360-degree review. And really, it's a review is kind of misleading. It's really more about developing goals for Jeremy and for ourselves for this coming year. So it'll roll into more of a development and planning tool also in terms of areas we need to focus on. So if you haven't already gotten contacted, you will be shortly. And the police chief, the DPW fire chief, it'll be, and it's all anonymous, all the employees. I briefed the fire chief and the police chief, and of course Jeremy, and Diane's been involved as our HR director. So I think it's going to be pretty good process. And it turns out Blythe has in an earlier life had a 360-degree review done on her, in addition to then having experience in doing them. So she's been on both sides of the equation. So does anyone have any questions or okay? And that's my only update, although we did launch, this is an unfair update, marketing the Boy Scout wreath sale is kicked off now. So we're selling wreaths throughout the town, and we've named it the Mike Kickham Memorial Wreath Sale with the permission of the Kickham family.
I saw that. That was very nice.
Yeah. Any other select board hearing? None. Jeremy, do you want to do any? You gave a couple of good ones to me today, a town administrator.
Yeah, let me. I got a handful here. We heard some good news in regards to the additional 25 million that was put towards Chapter 90. It was actually for rural communities, and we've heard that Sherborn's allotment of that will be an additional $30,000 per year in Chapter 90 funds. So that's in addition to the current 250,000 that we receive. So that was good news to hear. We're not sure when those funds will be released. There's some hiccup with the way that Mass DOT had borrowed the funds or something, but in any event, that's good news that our overall roadway funds from the Commonwealth have gone up. Also wanted to follow up with, we have received the formal notice of non-compliance for the town campus water supply in regards to the exceedance of the water quality standards for PFAS. We've already done all the public notice that's been required, but because now we have this notice of non-compliance, one of the conditions is that the town puts together and submits back to Mass DEP by November 25th of this year, a PFAS response compliance schedule approval form, or a compliance plan, which is to set out how and when the water quality standards will be met. So we have a meeting scheduled with Whitewater. They're our water and wastewater vendor. They help maintain and operate the drinking water system. And they have engineers as well on staff, not only operators. We have a meeting on Monday to discuss different options and how to, what our draft response may be back to Mass DEP for the compliance plan. One of the good news things here is that, we've been very proactive by already providing an alternate drinking water source, the bottled water. That's usually what starts by public water suppliers, or one of the things they might propose as part of a response to an NOI. We've already done that. So that'll be part of our response, is that we have done that and we'll continue to do that. So I think in general, I think we've been proactive that way. Our current thought is, and we're going to talk more about it next week, but our current thought is to put forward a request for some engineering funds for a capital request for the Springtown meeting to do further analysis or study or design, if you will, for drinking water treatment at the town hall campus, and likely also Woodhaven and Fire Station number 1, because by the end of this year, the US EPA will have some federal requirements for PFAS, which may trigger some compliance actions at those 2 sites as well. So it may be prudent to start looking at some more design and actual implementation of something. But I'm optimistic that there'll be some grants available that we could take advantage of. So I don't think we don't need to jump right into requesting construction funds, nor do I think Mass DEP is going to require us to immediately do that. I think we can kind of set our own time and calendar for that. And hopeful to get some grants that would help offset or even pay for the cost of that treatment. And we'd even look better if we did do some engineering to support those grant requests. So that's sort of the current thought, but we'll keep you posted.
Can I add one thing to that, Jeremy? My biggest concern is in any of those buildings is Pine Hill, and that probably falls under the school budget.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if maybe you could loop them into your meeting, or one member of the Pine Hill School Building Committee. I think Frank Hess used to be on that committee.
Yep.
So we might.
So that is, fortunately, it's the same vendor. So Whitewater is also the vendor.
Yeah, I know it is.
Department,
yeah,
which is helpful. So
it's a much
they're
bigger
currently
population.
not under any watch. There've been
I know, but they're with the
7 or
new
8
federal
parts per trillion, but
the
they'll
federal
be,
guidelines, so they'll be above that though.
They will.
Yeah. So it might be useful just to loop them into what we're doing, so they're aware.
Will do.
Thank you. So I interrupted you. You have other items you want to?
Yeah, two other. Just an update on the rail safety gates. The rail contractor kind of came in a little quicker than we thought, and has banged out most of the work, which is great. And relatively minimal impact to traffic flow. But as you drive by, you'll notice most of the gates are up. I think they still need to put some of the actual gates. The cantilever portions are up. The foundations are in. They were quite quick. It was sort of like an erector set they just had to put together on site. And so those gates should be, I think the plan was to have them operational tomorrow. If not, sometime next week.
Yeah, they've got the whole signage and the whole bridge over the rail crossing there too. It's
I
pretty
think we
cool.
may need to trim some branches. There's some things obstructing
Yeah.
some of the lights. So we'll follow up with that when the time's right.
And they did it with very little interruption of traffic, it seemed like.
Yeah. Two-way traffic was maintained, more of the people just like kind of looking to see what was
Yeah,
going
yes,
on.
gawkers.
And I guess my last update or heads up is that we've gotten some grant funding to put some additional electric vehicle chargers on the town hall campus. These would be the fast chargers, they'd be the quick ones. And Eversource, we had a meeting with Eversource as far as where to power them and where to set them up. And it appears that the best place for them would be in the northwest corner near Washington Street in front of town hall. So that would actually be, a different location from where they are now. Those would stay. These would be in addition to, adding that fast charge capability. And again, this was a grant funded program. They may be installed in about 3 or 4 weeks once the material's in. If you come out, you'll see that some pavement markings out where they're doing a dig safe mark out where these would be located. But just wanted to give the heads up.
So how many chargers would that be?
I believe it would be 2 chargers, and so 2 chargers capable of charging 4 cars. The type of chargers, only 2. So each of the charging units could only do a fast charge for 1 vehicle, but it could slower charge 2 vehicles. So they could charge up to 4 slower or 2 quick.
And so where are we charging? We have that new electric police truck, don't we now too?
There's
EV?
an all electric, it's the Mach E, Ford
Yeah.
Mach E, which will be able to take advantage of the fast charging station this new installation.
But they won't have it in there.
It's not current. I don't believe it's been delivered yet, so it's not charging anywhere at this point.
I think I've seen it.
Have you? Okay.
I think I've seen it, but I may be mistaken. It has Sherborn's logos on it.
Okay. I'll check in with the chief.
Check it. It's possible I'm mistaken, but I think I've seen it twice actually.
I know they do come with like a slower charge that could be just plugged into the outlet inside the station.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that we need a charging station over in their lot over there.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, and we've also been kicking around the idea of some solar canopies.
Yep.
Where they store their police cruisers. They
Yep.
store them outside necessarily. But those canopies could be serve a dual purpose to protect the cruisers and also provide some solar generation.
Well, I think if we have the fast chargers, I think it's not, if we can get grant funding to put one in the station, that would be great. But I don't know that I would be in favor of like spending any town money to put a charger there, because the fast chargers, I don't remember the stats exactly for a Mach-E, but most vehicles, they'll charge from like 10 to 80% on their battery in about a half an hour or so. So it's like, they're fast, So, so I think that if they can spare the vehicle for half an hour for a charge, that they can really just use that.
Well, remember their vehicles are running 24 hours a day though, so they're,
the Mach-E will have to have some downtime to charge.
Yeah.
At the fast charger, that's only 30 minutes. And I believe the chief said he was going to start using that himself. So it may not be his front line of vehicle as some
It
other
might have been
vehicle.
where I saw it. Maybe he was trying somewhere.
And actually, it might be nice to have that on to the side of Washington Street, parked out there, charging to help slow cars down.
Well, it might be something you could announce on the website too. So once you take the new website sign down, it could be community news. And speaking of community news, is that everything you had, Jeremy?
It is. Yep.
I remembered one thing I have. You can get back to it.
Go ahead.
Well, just a tiny select board report. This week, Jeremy and me representing select board, Addie May and Rob Wolf representing planning board met with the administrators of the Metro West Regional Collaborative. And it was just kind of a opportunity for us to tell them what regional things that we thought they should be concentrating on. So you know, we gave them some ideas as to what we might want to happen at the Metro West Regional Collaborative meetings, or that could be good. I mean, this particular meeting didn't give us anything we didn't already know, but those meetings can be useful because it's select board and planning board from other towns in Metro West. And, you know, it gets us out of our silos, and it's an opportunity to see what everybody else is doing. So that was good.
That's good for two reasons. I'm glad you told us that, and it made me remember something that I forgot also, which is Becca Rausch's legislative aide reached out to me. Becca wants to have a call once a month with all of her select board chairs. So I think I'm doing it, I forget what, in the next week or two. So if anyone has anything, I'm going to tell her about the water district being approved. I'm going to also tell her about our I want to make her aware that it's our 350th anniversary. I think she knows already, but I'll tell her again. But if any of you have anything you want me to get to Becca's attention, just let me know.
Apropos, Jeff, do you think I didn't send kind of that background ammunition about the water district?
Yeah.
Becca, we should send it.
I'll ask her. Why don't I ask her? Because she knows she's pretty knowledgeable already.
Oh, right, but
it'll go through the House first also. I think James gets it, and I don't think the Senate looks at it until after the House has approved
exactly.
it.
So it's a matter of timing. I don't want to send it and let it get.
I'll ask her the question, but she wants to have the call once a month. With she represents 11 towns, so that's what she's doing. It's only a 15-minute call also. So that's news. And then the other news is that Diane's going to tell us what we're doing on Veterans Day.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that next Saturday on November 11th, we'll be having our annual Veterans Day celebration at the Sherborn Town Hall, second floor. And everybody's welcome to come. We have the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and the Pine Hill Chorus will be there. We're hoping that a representative from Rebecca Roush's office will be there, and Representative James Arena DeRosa is planning on coming by. So, and there'll be a nice little light lunch that's going to be served courtesy of Wegmans and Roach Brothers. So we hope everybody comes by starting at 11 o'clock.
Do you need any of us to make an introduction or speak? I did one year.
Well, I'm putting the agenda together, so you'll all be receiving your part by email. So every one of you will have some little piece to play in the veteran.
All right. We'll do dish cleaning. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
Did you ever we didn't have any luck with the Boy Scout bugler, did we?
We're still working on that. We're pretty close to maybe.
Can someone in the band do it? Like you said, you have the high school band coming. I wonder if
that's what we have was the Pine Hill Chorus. We're looking at Diana Hook is working on that right now.
Because they basically don't play the bugle, they play the trumpet usually.
Right.
So
well, we're hoping to have somebody there for that.
All right. Gavin Lynch is our only bugler left, I think.
I know.
As far as I know.
I know.
All right, so that concludes number 7, and then we have the consent agenda. Do I have a motion with respect to the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Eric.
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
Marion.
Aye.
And I as well. That was pretty good, you guys. 8:31. Not too bad with a public hearing. So you moving to adjourn. There's a second.
Second.
All right, Eric.
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
Marion.
Aye.
And I might as well. Thank you, Jeremy and Diane and Dan Sickle and everyone else for supporting us, and hope the power comes back to everybody up in that north part of town.
I know. Thank you very much.
Ciao, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.